Let's bring in Mary Kay Cabot. She is the NFL writer, the beat writer for the Cleveland Plain Dealer. She covers the whole league as well as the Cleveland Browns. Mary Kay, welcome to the show. We really appreciate your time. And first question out of the box, any truth to the rumors Cleveland is offering 2 first-round draft picks, the number 12 and the number 19 overall, to move into the second position in the draft and take Tennessee's spot?
Well, it was kind of funny because the first report said, hey, the Browns have made this offer, and then a few minutes later, ESPN contradicted itself and said, no, a source within the Titans says no such offer has been made. So here's really what's been going on. The Browns have admitted that they're talking to teams above them and below them about either trading up or down. I've been saying all along for months and months and months that they like Mariota, that they will make a pitch to get him, and I've also maintained that they would have to go all the way up to number 2 to get him. It looks like the Titans either will take Mariota or they're making it seem like they will. So I think you have to go all the way up to get him. I think there have been discussions about this. I don't think a concrete offer has been made per se, but I do think it will take more than 12 and 19 to get there.
Mary Kay, thank you for joining us again, number 2. What a beautiful house you have there.
I was going to say.
That is great. Number 3, if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I love that deal. I just told Les and Benjamin that I would trade those 2 picks for the number 2 pick overall. But if I'm the Tennessee Titans, you got to sweeten that deal a little
enough.
bit. I don't think that's quite enough. But I don't blame them. Wouldn't this be about the first time in NFL history, though, if they were able to trade up, that a team would draft in the first round a quarterback for like 14 straight years?
Right.
Well, first let me say that the house didn't look like this 5 minutes before I so let's just get that straight right now. But yes, you know what? The Browns, in 2 of the last 3 years, they've taken a quarterback in the first round. But you know what? Those were both at number 22. They haven't taken a quarterback in the top 5 since Tim Couch in 1999. They have not committed good resources to an elite quarterback since then. So I'm all for them trading up to get Marcus Mariota. They are going nowhere until they get a quarterback. They've got a lot of other things. They have to get a championship caliber quarterback. Is Marcus Mariota that? Nobody knows for sure. But from everything that I've talked to people about, they seem to think that he's got what it takes. The Browns have his quarterback's coach, his guru that helped him prepare for the combine here on their staff. He really likes the guy, thinks he can be really good. So I think it's a risk worth taking, even if they have to give up the 3rd number 1.
Hey, I want to ask you, Mary Kay, about Johnny Manziel. Is it possible this guy could be a Pro Bowl level quarterback in your mind, or have we seen the last of this guy?
You know what? That's a great question. Nobody knows the answer. I've talked to a number of people that are close to guys that coached Johnny Manziel last year in Cleveland. And most of the people that I've talked to have said, Johnny can't play. But you know what? I don't really know. I mean, I'm very curious to see the clean and sober Johnny who's got his nose in the playbook and who's really putting time and effort into this. The Browns definitely think that he can still play. So I really do believe that, they need to see what they have in him now that he's, out of rehab. 10 weeks he spent in rehab. Let's see what he can do with the off-the-field distractions aside.
Mary Kay, Joe Thomas said yesterday that it's a totally different Johnny Manziel, that instead of being seen on Instagram on Saturday night in a bar, that he's actually on Saturdays when he goes in, Johnny's with
He's
his
drinking
coach.
Grey Goose instead of Smirnoffs now.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's why he's
That's what
different.
it is?
Well,
All right.
I'm trying to be serious here.
Okay,
If you
sorry.
guys want to do funny, go do another show somewhere. Mary Kay and I want to be serious here. So Joe Thomas said on the Saturdays he's there with his offensive coach, talking playbook, that it's a totally different guy. Have you seen any evidence of that?
Well, first of all, one Saturday does not make a life change. You've got to see over the test of time whether or not Johnny Manziel can stay on the straight and narrow. And I've said this a number of times. I think that not only is Johnny addicted to whatever he's been addicted to over the past how many ever years, I think he's also been addicted to the party itself. I think he really enjoys the spotlight and spraying the champagne around the club and floating on the Swan and hanging out with Gronk. at the Vegas pool party. So I think it's the lifestyle that he also really enjoys. I think it's going to be hard for a 22-year-old young man to give up the party. He loves hanging out in South Beach and all those kind of things. So, I don't think it's great that Joe Thomas said what he said, but 1 week back in Berea is not enough to say that Johnny is a new man. You have to see what he's going to be over the next 6 months, which, I think the first 6 months out of rehab are probably the most difficult time to try to stay on the straight and narrow.
This portion of the big stuff presented by the Celtic Tavern, the official sponsor of the Colorado Rapids soccer team. The Celtic provides a bus to every Colorado Rapids home game, and you can tailgate 2 hours before kickoff. That's what they call it at the beginning of a soccer game, with the kickoff. Just 2 blocks west of Coors Field on Blake. That's the Celtic Tavern.
Mary Kay, we had a debate yesterday of what you called the beginning of a soccer match other than the beginning of the soccer match. And we found out it is kickoff. Let's assume for a moment that the Cleveland Browns can't pull off this trade. I have heard various things. The Browns, with one of the picks, are right 4 or 5 picks ahead of the Broncos. I've heard offensive linemen. I have heard skill position players. Do you have a handle on what you think the Browns would do if they can't get the quarterback, or would they go after Garrett Grayson from out here, who's supposedly going to be the third quarterback picked?
Well, I know they like Garrett Grayson. I know that they sent at least one staff member out to have a private session with him. So I do think he's definitely on their radar. But when you look at number 12, I do see they like Danny Shelton, the big nose tackle from Washington. There's always Devontae Parker that they could look at there. They definitely need a wide receiver. I know they like Kevin White. They went and visited with Kevin White privately the night before his pro day. And then there's another thing to keep in mind here. Will they go after and make another run at Sam Bradford? And I think they will. If they can't get Marcus Mariota, I think they will have another discussion with Chip Kelly about acquiring Sam Bradford, probably with that number 19 pick.
Mary Kay, before we let you go, the question needs to be asked. Your general manager, Ray Farmer, will he be in the draft room, or will he be texting his instructions into the draft room and telling everybody what to do?
A little bit of a sore subject, but he will definitely be in the draft room. And when you think about Ray Farmer, think about this. He is a second-year general manager, and he's had 2 first-round picks in each of his first 2 drafts. That's a tall order for anybody, let alone a newcomer. So here's hoping for Browns fans' sakes that this year's first round goes better than last year's did.
Mary Kay,
I was just going to say, how do people follow you? A, and B, give us your address, because people should come by and see your house, because that's, as I said, that's a beautiful house, and that's all cleaned up.
Yeah, who's that architect you got in there?
You know what? I think actually a teenager might have blown in the background here, so I apologize for that. If there was
that was great.
And some kids running around here. Yeah. But again, it didn't look quite like this. I had to throw a bunch of things around before I plopped myself down here. But you can find me on Twitter at Mary Kay Cabot, and I'm trying to do the best I can here to figure out what's going on in this draft.
Well, you're doing a great job, and we really appreciate your time, Mary Kay. We'll talk to you real soon.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
All right, Mary Kay Cabot from the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Read her.